All right, everyone, go ahead with your questions.
Coach, they ran 88 snaps to their 58 tonight, but they had a bunch of explosives, and the one explosive was for the Bengals was a 23-yard touchdown pass to CJ. So, I mean, their running game obviously a big factor in this football game.
Yeah, we didn't do a good enough job. Our fits, some guys were out of gap sometimes, and our tackling was very poor. And so you feel that they might have had a ton of plays, but they ran a bunch of time off the clock when they were having some of those drives where they were really successful in the run game.
Yeah, they ran the ball for 216 yards. Chubb had 124. Hunt had 86. And then Baker Mayfield complements that with 219 yards passing. What about your rookie Joe Burrow, though, with 316 yards passing, 61 attempts, 37 for 61, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. He let us, gave us a chance, and, just came up short.
Coach, to that point, Joe Burrow has 61 pass attempts. You probably want a more balanced attack, especially when you have Joe Mixon in the backfield. Can you just talk about why you had 61 overall attempts passing?
Yeah, we felt like we were having a lot of success in the pass game, and we scored on 3 of our last drives. And so, again, we were down 2 scores there in the fourth quarter. And this is the same thing that kind of happens to us. You get down and you're throwing the ball, and we're having success doing it. We got a lot of faith in Joe. It's just the way that it played out.
Zach, you guys tackled pretty well the last game. What do you attribute this week to, and how disappointing was it to not tackle well?
I don't know. That's a great question, and we'll just have to address that when we watch that tape.
These 2 backs are number 1 and 2 in the NFL in yards after contact after week 1. They probably didn't do much to damage that after week 2. Is it just their excellence? I mean, in terms of breaking tackles, do you think, or is it what do you attribute it to?
It goes both ways. We got to get the guys on the ground when we got them in our grasp, and we got to do a better job just staying on our gaps, not letting the holes be as big as they were. But those are 2 good backs, and you got to give them a ton of credit. Their line did a great job as well.
How do you think the offensive line played, and how do you think Fred Johnson did filling in at right guard?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll look it over and get a better sense of it. I thought they held off. Myles Garrett's a premier pass rusher in this league, and my eyes go to him quite a bit. They did a nice job on him for the most part. So again, we'll look at how it went. Joe does a good job also extending some plays when the pocket does collapse, and that's just part of playing quarterback in the NFL. He does a nice job of that. So we'll keep looking at it.
I guess you strive for complementary football. Offense, defense complement each other, and so far it's been not complementary, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Back-to-back weeks, Joe suffered a bad turnover, for lack of a better term, and he's bounced back from that. Again, does that show you the resiliency of him to keep fighting and keep clawing and put that play behind him?
Absolutely. That's the number one source of fumbles, quarterbacks in the pocket, and it collapsed around him as he was about to throw. And that one's tough to avoid sometimes when you're in your throwing motion and you get hit. It was unfortunate because our defense had just come up with such a great goal line stand. You really felt the momentum start to swing there. We're going to try to put together a 99-yard drive and go tie the game, and it just didn't work out that way.
Zach, why is Burrow kind of, I guess, the offense been unable to find any big explosive plays in the pass game for the most part? It seems like a lot of Burrow's attempts have been underneath stuff.
Well, no, we push the ball down the field. We just can't connect on any of them, and so we got to continue to look at that and make sure that we're on top of the details.
Zach, what's the balance you run in a game like this where you're behind, you're throwing it 61 times, they're teeing off a little bit on Joe, worrying about hits accumulating on him during a game? How do you manage that, or do you just think, look, we got to find a way to come back and win? He's going to have to take these hits tonight.
We got to go win the game. We're constantly trying to find ways to protect the edges and track where the rushers are and slide protection certain ways. That's a conversation that happens over 4 quarters. And at the same point, it stresses the defense a little bit more when you get more guys into the concept, and not keep them on the backfield.
It was announced
too many hits through 2 games, in your opinion. He's taken too many hits through 2 games, in your opinion. That's be a problem over the course of 16.
I don't ever like to see him get hit, but again, we're just doing what we got to do to win the game.
It was announced that CJ had an Achilles injury. Is there any update with regard to the severity, Coach?
Not from me. I haven't heard yet.
1st and goal at the 1, and you guys had a couple of big losses on runs. Was that the O-line? Was that decisions by Joe to bounce and Joe Mixon to bounce and Joe Burrow to pull?
he got hit in the back. We were in goal and personnel on the 1 yard line. Joe got hit in the backfield, and just tried to.
Here under Lou.
Well, we got a bunch of new guys in there inside, and guys that just joined us. And so, again, we'll continue to evaluate it and see what our best options are there.
Zach, why'd you go with Fred, and what do you think about your offensive line after 2 games?
I went with Fred. Billy's still battling a little bit of an ankle injury, starting to feel a lot better. Wanted to see what Fred could provide there. And again, it's I don't want to make any declarations after the game because sometimes you're quick to do it and you don't always agree with what you would have said post game. So we'll get a chance to check that tape out and make the right decisions.
Might be a little hollow, but how big was it in your mind for Randy to bounce back from that miss last week in a pretty big game?
Yeah, I've got faith in Randy. Randy, he's got confidence in himself, and so he did a nice job today coming through for us.
Coach,
What do you think was go ahead, Lap. Go ahead.
Well, against the Baltimore Ravens, the defense that Cleveland ran against the Ravens really had no carryover. It was almost like it was your opener against the Cleveland Browns because Baltimore's offense is so different than what you guys do. Did they do anything that you you didn't really know, I guess, what to expect? Did they do anything that you weren't realizing might take place?
No, we felt like we had a pretty good sense of what they would be going to the game, and I'd say for the most part that held up.
What do you think the key part of the game was, Zach? Where do you think the game swung from you? Was it
on the 1 yard line? We had so many. Gio scores a touchdown and it gets called back. Not sure how that happens, to be honest with you, but we dropped a pass. We had really an MA on the play. Then we dropped a pass as well. That looked like it would have been a touchdown from my angle. And then, we had some negative yardage runs there that really killed us. And so that's the turning point right there. I think we were down 8 at the time and looking to score and go for 2. And we already have a 2-point conversion called, and then the touchdown gets called back. And that was the discouraging part of the game.
Did you get a sense that the defense was trying to key in on Joe Mixon tonight?
In how so?
He only had 46 yards total rushing, under 3 yards average. So, and Joe Burrow threw the ball 61 times. Were they trying to, focus in on Joe Mixon, do you think?
No, we had some favorable fronts there. We just didn't get enough out of them.
Guys, 2 more questions for Coach, and we're going to get him out of here.
Zach, how much do you chalk up, tonight, some of the errors or missed details tonight on a short week? And how much does that factor into any of this?
For the whole team, you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah. It's just discouraging that we had a couple errors. But, again, we'll talk through it and see what they really were. And sometimes you think one thing on the field and you need a chance to look it over and make sure that you're really correct in your evaluation.
Anyone have any more? All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Coach.
the slow count to 5 so everyone can find you and pin you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, we're going to pause just a little bit here so they can start the stream. So hang with us. All right, everyone, go ahead with your questions.
You're on mute, Lap.
Joe, you ran 88 snaps in the football game. 61 of them were pass attempts. You showed great patience, 316 yards passing on 61 attempts, only one ball over 20 yards, touchdown pass to C.J. Uzomah of 23. How difficult was it to stay that patient throughout the game?
I mean, I was just trying to take what the defense gave me. They were playing from ahead, so they were in their two deep shell, and they were doing a good job of not letting anything over the top. So, we had to move the ball. So I was just trying to take what they gave me.
So took a lot of shots out there tonight. I mean, throwing the ball 61 times, but other shots to the head, shots to various body parts. I mean, are you going to be able to withstand that for 16 games?
Yep, I'm good.
Feel good?
Feel good.
Joe, you threw 61 passes, had over 300 yards passing. How would you grade yourself this week after week 1? You gave yourself a D.
I'm not sure. I'd have to go and watch the film to let you know. We lost. That's the only thing that matters. And, we just got to find a way to win games. If we punch that in on the goal line, we probably win this game. So that's, what I'm going to be thinking about.
Joe, can you take us through that sequence, that sequence down on the goal line? You had scored. You already got a 2-point conversion, ready to run. Then the world changes. What happened in that sequence?
Yeah, we thought we scored. We had the 2-point ready. Then they reversed it, got our goal line in the game, and, we just weren't able to punch it in.
Joe, what's the most frustrating thing about tonight, aside from just the overall loss?
Just losing. Losing isn't very fun. This might be the only time in my sporting career that I've lost 2 games in a row. Doesn't feel very good. I know the guys in there are hurting. We're going to come back to work tomorrow and try to get this thing right. Losing is unacceptable to me, to everybody in there, to Coach Taylor, to everybody in this organization. So we're just going to have to get it fixed.
Joe, you've been successful multiple times. 3 minutes to go, 2 minutes to go, a minute and a half to go. In the first half, the end of the football game, you've done it already in 2 games, multiple times. I mean, where's your confidence level in those situations? Off the charts or what?
Yeah, I mean, I have great people around me. O-line, I think played very, very well tonight. Considering we threw the ball 60 times and. The defense knew that we were going to have to throw the ball because they were scoring a lot. They did a hell of a job for me, and I'm proud of those guys. I'm sorry, what was the question? I just started.
How you handle those 2-minute drills, 3-minute drills, minute and a half. I mean, you've done it. You did it at the half tonight, at the end of the game, the first game. I mean, you've done it multiple times now. Yeah.
Coach Taylor has been calling some great plays in those situations, and my guys are making plays for me, and that's all you can ask as a quarterback. And we got to punch it in the end zone. You would like to score a touchdown before half, and obviously last game you needed to score there. But we've been in scoring range, so that's been one positive. We've been successful in those situations.
I think AJ had 14 targets. I think he had 14 targets and like three catches. Were they doing anything in particular there that were? There wasn't more production there?
They started playing more too high. He was playing well at the beginning of the game, and I missed some throws to AJ again, and I'm just gonna have to fix that. I can't keep missing throws to AJ when he gets open like he does.
Joe, I know you're not happy overall, but there were a lot of past and even current athletes that were very impressed by your performance. Troy Aikman said during the night that he was impressed, and LeBron James said you had it and you were a special player. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's nice to have those guys have my back, but we're 0-2. That's all that matters.
Joe, on fourth down tonight, 5 for 5 on fourth down. You ever tried fourth down conversions 5 times in one game and been successful in every one of them?
I don't know about that one. My guys were getting open for me, and they did a great job all night. Tyler Boyd, has kind of been my go-to on fourth down. He's been awesome for me, and I couldn't. I love working with all my guys. Mike Thomas, I thought, played really, really well tonight as well. I go to war with any of these guys any day of the week.
Tyler, say anything to you after he dropped the ball in the end zone?
I know he's frustrated in himself. I know I can put it on his face mask better as well. But he played a really, really good game. He's hard on himself just like I'm hard on myself, and we're going to get this thing right. You can count on that.
The fumble at the 1 yard line, did a hand just get in there that you didn't see and get a swipe on it?
Yeah, that's all that happened.
If you had to put your finger on it, if you had to put your finger on the offense, is there any one common denominator that you see out of the last couple of games?
We just got to make the game-winning opportunities when they present themselves. I missed a bunch last game, and then missed a couple this game. The goal line really stands out to me that we weren't able to punch that one in. So that's disappointing. But it's a long season. We still got 14 games left. Long way to go.
Joe, you said you're fine with the hits, that you're going to be fine if you take hits all season long. But how much can that disrupt your rhythm when you're trying to get something going on offense with the run game or the pass game?
Doesn't disrupt my rhythm at all. It makes me feel like a football player. I kind of like getting hit sometimes. So doesn't disrupt me.
Guys, last one for Joe here, and then we're going to get him out.
Joe, you talked about, having to adjust to losing, which is something you haven't really done a whole lot of in your career. What's that mental adjustment been like for you and having to adapt to just not having the success you're accustomed to?
I'll never adjust or accept losing. That's just something that's not in my mindset. So this 0-2 start's really hurting me. I know it's hurting Coach and everybody in there. We'll never adjust to losing. We'll never accept losing. We're just going to have to get it right.
All right, Joe, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks.